that Fiji water. The road has not been kind to Jimmy Patsos and the Siena Saints. But good news may be on the horizon as they face Niagara, a team they've beaten 7 straight times. MAC action heats up. It's Siena, it's Niagara, it's MAC basketball, and it's now on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Time Warner Cable Sports Channel presents Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference men's college basketball as the Siena Saints take on the Niagara Purple Eagles from the legendary Taps Gallagher Center on the campus of Niagara University in Lewiston, New York. Just a bit up the road from Niagara Falls, USA. And we're happy to bring you tonight's action. Kevin Sylvester along with Richard Walsh here in MAC basketball action as Siena trying to pick up their first road win of the year. Hard to believe that's the case for a great Saints program, and they were oh so close Monday against Canisius.
Yeah, it's tough to win up here in Western New York. 2-game road trip. They were down 13 points, talking about Siena. Made a great comeback. Had a couple threes there late, Kevin. We had the pleasure to do that game. The second one just fell short, and they didn't force overtime, so they're looking to get a W here this evening.
Well, one player who had a great game and helped lead that comeback for the Saints is Brett Bisping, who's played very well against Niagara in his career, averaging 12 points per game against the Niagara Purple Eagles. Second in the MAC in rebounds, and he really excels there on the glass.
Yeah, either end, too, offensive or defensive, but he can really stretch the floor. I was looking at the stats, 41% from 3, which is second on the team, but he is a very good player. First team all preseason MAC, very versatile, fifth-year senior. It's the whole package.
Yeah, he does it all as a very athletic player also, so we look forward to watching him play again. On the other side, with the Niagara Purple Eagles here at home looking for their second win in MAC play, we're going to focus on lucky number 13, Matt Scott.
Yeah, Matt Scott, I've watched him now the last 3 years, and he's developed, and that's what you have to do at a mid-major. He's really improved his all-around game. His assist-to-turnover ratio has improved significantly. He's great in transition. He plays a lot of minutes. He'll have a big game here tonight, too.
All right, there is one other matchup there as we see some more effort there from Scott. One other matchup we want to keep our eye on tonight, and that is going to be inside the big time. As you see the lefty Scott there and some pregame warm-ups here as, again, a player to watch for the Niagara Purple Eagles. The big men underneath for each team, Javion Ogunyemi for Siena, who had a very good game against Canisius the other night. Dominic Robb, also a big shot blocker for the Niagara Purple Eagles. These two big guys are going to go at it tonight. That's one to watch in the paint. And, of course, both teams trying to get their second win in MAC play. It's coming up next, Siena Niagara right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. And the legendary Taps Gallagher Center in Lewiston, New York. It's been the scene of some great matchups through the years right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. And we hope to bring another one here tonight between Niagara and Siena. Let's look at the starting lineup tonight for the Siena Saints. Same look we saw Monday afternoon against the Canisius Golden Griffins. Marquise Wright at guard along with Nico Clareth, getting his second straight start. Levon Long, Javion Oganyemi, and Brett Bisping, who we talked about at the top of the broadcast. And of course, the head coach for Siena in his 4th season with the Saints, Jimmy Patsos, spent 9 years before at Loyola. There's his record at Siena, 56 and 61. A couple of 20-win seasons in there with that record. For the Niagara Purple Eagles at home, Khalil Dukes, an outstanding free throw shooter, Chris Barton, Matt Scott, Marvin Prochet, and Dominic Robb, as the Purple Eagles looking for their second MAC win of the year. And Chris Casey, also in his 4th season as head coach here at Niagara, 26 and 83, 0-7 against Siena, looking to turn that around tonight. And another win in the column. He has all his guys now with the team here, as all the players on the Niagara roster are his players he brought in to the program. As we look at this series, here is the overall record in the 103rd meeting between these two teams. 54-47, the edge going to the Siena Saints. And as we've mentioned, last 7 wins go to Siena. However, if trends continue, they're 0-9 on the road this season. So they have that working against them. You see Jimmy Patsos picking his guys up here. They've changed road uniforms too, Richard. They're going with the gold here tonight instead of the green we saw on Monday afternoon.
Well, you've got to change your luck. You haven't won on the road. Why not change it up a little bit? Looking forward to a great game here this evening. For Niagara, they got to take care of the ball here and rebound. We know that's a strength of Siena. And Siena, they have a little trouble shooting from 3, so I look for Niagara to play a little zone here this evening.
As you see, Siena, we'll call it yellow and white for Niagara with the purple trim here tonight. And we're underway here with the opening tap, controlled by the Saints. Back to right, goes right side to Long. Bisping, the high post. Takes one dribble back to right here. Clareth dashing to the basket. Oh, and that shot was blocked, rejected by Scott for the Purple Eagles. Barton takes it in, finds Robb, dribble up and in. Fought off the contested attempt there.
All started with that great block by Scott, and they got out and ran and moved the ball beautifully, and then the penetration and the nice dish to Robb.
Niagara open up here in a man-to-man. Bisping, he's guarded by Prochet. Comes back out the right at top. He's guarded by Dukes. Clareth, he'll take the 3. Bench side there, long rebound, comes to Long. Lost control, but it goes right into the hands of Bisping. Funny how the ball finds the good players, right?
Exactly, Johnny on the spot.
2-2, and Scott coming right back. He lost control of the basketball, and Siena will push in transition. Right all the way to the basket, and doesn't go for him. Tip no good. And coming out with the basketball is Barton, although it went off his foot. No, they'll say it went off of Wright. It'll be Niagara basketball.
Boy, watch Wright the other night, and he really can turn it up there quickly. Transition defense will also be very important here this evening for Niagara.
Look at the pressure here by the Saints. As Dukes will get it up the floor. Hesitates, now goes to the hoop, off the window and in, just over the hand of Oganyemi. 4-2 lead for the Purple League.
Little confusion there on defense there after the pressure. They didn't get into their rotation, talking about Siena, and that cost them there. Good read.
I know it's early, but love the pace so far here, a minute and a half in. Right, inside to Bisping. Back out to right, he'll take the three, and he'll make the three.
And that's great leadership by Bisping. You know, he had an 8-footer, but he knew he didn't have the footwork down, so he just kicks it out to right. Easy shot. Got to defend that better.
5-4 lead on the baseline, and we have our first foul of the game. Push on Clarith. Push part. Non-shooting foul.
Jimmy's calm right now, but that might not be the case later.
Figured out the pattern too. Afternoon game, no tie. Evening game, that's a tie. Dukes thought about the shot, pulls up. This baseline, Prochet working his way in, turns, and that just a tinge of the rim. Didn't go. 5-4 Siena, just underway, 2 minutes in. This MAC contest. Second of the week for both teams inside the long. Nice feed over to Bisping on the up and under pass.
Yeah, those big guys, they work together and they bang on each other every time in practice, so they like to help each other out there. Beautiful passing. Interior passing is tough to finish like that.
Siena with a 3-point lead. Barton, nice hesitation dribble there. Lost control, we'll have to reset. 15 on the shot clock. Pick and roll there, and Oganyemi warded off the pass attempt pretty well there. Off of Rob's hands, Bisping comes away with it, finds Clarith all the way down the court. Right, nice crossover. Tried the reverse, he was fouled on the play.
Boy, that was a beautiful crossover. But back down to the other end, Niagara had a lot of trouble with the what we call hedging the screen. The big man comes out, double team, threw it into Rob. He wasn't ready for it. And Bisping, being the senior, is off and running.
That was Matt Palom with a call you just saw there. Here's a look at the foul. Referees tonight, Matt Palom, Rob Riley, and Jason Robideau. And the first and 2, no good.
You're right about the pace, though. And, you know, Niagara, I've noticed that they've gotten away under Coach Casey, and there's Jimmy again. But they like to move it up and down. That's how players want to play now. And that 3-ball, you know, I know it's been around for a long time, but people are really starting to figure out the wide open 3 from the corner is better than the post up almost.
Wasn't in our day, was it?
No, nope.
Of course, I don't want to give away ages, but the 3-point line wasn't there when you and I both started playing basketball.
Correct.
8-4 our score as we quickly move away from our ages. It's 3 minutes in. Rob, nice move inside, and Oganyemi went up contesting the shot, and we will have a foul. And Jimmy Patsos disagrees with that one as Oganyemi will get his first.
The key to that play, Kevin.
Excuse me, that was on Long. Pardon me, not on Oganyemi.
The key to that play was Rob established position so close to the basket, you almost had to follow him.
And Rob able to sink the first. He's a 66% free throw shooter. And Long will take a seat.
He was out here quite early working on his post moves there, refining his skills there. Nice touch there for Bigman, and as we said, he's quite a good shot blocker.
2 needed points. Kadeem Smithen came in for Levon Long, who committed that foul. Some pressure there by Niagara. Right, the right side. Nice pass inside. Bisping with the move. Goes high there, doesn't get the roll on the rim. And Rob with the rebound.
Nice respect for Rob there. You could see him alter that shot, recognizing Rob was guarding.
Dukes creates some space. High off the rim, doesn't go. Part of this pace, is it because of you had a long holiday layup, you play Monday, now your legs are back into it?
That's a good point.
In and out in the 3 there from Clarith, and it'll be Niagara basketball.
Yeah, I like the point you made there about that. You know, no one else is on campus, right? I remember those days that you're there and you practice and everything, so you do get your legs. The first game didn't get your second win here. Little extended pressure by Siena. One thing I've noticed in Niagara, they really don't have a true point guard. That ends up getting them in a lot of trouble, and obviously Jimmy's recognized that, and they're extending it a lot more than Canisius did the other evening.
28 seconds and 8 seconds on the half court to get the ball over, and they quickly do here. 2-on-1 break. Dukes goes high off the glass. No foul, but boy, that was pretty.
Very pretty, and nice and soft too, in case you did miss. Rob was there for the putback.
Nice move by Smithen. He got stripped, but it was not clean. That'll be a foul on the Purple Eagles. It'd be on Dominic Robb. They've called the foul at number 32. We will take this timeout. We're tied at 8 early on here at Niagara. Well, taking a look at our tail of the tape entering tonight's game. Siena averaging just under 73 points a game. Niagara just about 75. Free throw percentage, to Niagara, the edge there. Last 5 games, Purple Eagles with 2 wins, Siena with 1. Block shots, though, this is a big one. Niagara, 4.9 blocks per game. That man, 33 entering tonight's game. He's just called for a foul, on this end of the floor. So it's a shooting foul. Smithen will shoot 2 for Siena, and he is able to get the roll there on the first one. That have a shot blocker. What an important asset to have defensively.
Absolutely. You know, you change the shot, and we already saw it once here tonight with Bisbing missing inside. Siena's doing a really nice job, Kevin, of interior passing. 3 baskets, 3 assists. Obviously, that's a coach's dream there. Unselfish players, not worried about who's scoring.
Crochet able to run the baseline there off the make. Help with the press. Barton puts a shoulder into it. Physical play there offensively, and Smithen comes away with the turnover. Up ahead to right, and he gets blocked. Back we go the other way. Dukes all the way, the up and under, and it counts with the foul.
And a very acrobatic play by the referee, jumping over Dukes to make the call. But anyways, he goes in transition beautifully and lays it up, as you said earlier, very soft. I don't know if it catches this referee, but he made the call and jumped over. That would be an ESPN highlight there, I think.
Smithen called for the foul. Dukes using a little English that time.
Well, that's what I always tell. When you're going that fast, it's pure physics. You got to have it high and soft, and that is not easy to do.
All right, they're actually going to review the play here. What do you think they're looking at here, Richard?
Well, I don't know, but watch the ref here. Look at that on the side there. That was impressive. You know, a lot of times what they're looking at over there, and I think this kind of delays the game. I'm not a big fan of it. If there was some
head contact.
Exactly. You know, whether it was a natural play.
Oh, I think they're determining whether or not if the basket counted.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Matt Palom motion that the basket did count.
I thought they already had done that. He just missed his first free throw the other night, and 6 short of Calvin Murphy's record of 26 in a row.
Yeah, not the guy you want to put in the line. Shooting 95% from the charity stripe. Pass in for the layup, and it goes for Clarith as Siena breaks the pressure.
Broke it easily.
With a 1-point lead, 12-11. But back to Khalil Dukes and shooting 95% from the free throw line. I don't think I need to tell everybody that's outstanding, and so was that shot there from Mr. Scott.
That was a beautiful set play, and that's what I talked about in the opening here, how he's developed his game. That's a really good shot and a nice-looking stroke there. Well executed by the Purple Eagles.
An elite change there. Now Niagara has a 2-point lead. Oganyemi, pump fake. Too hard there on the jump hook, and rebound comes to Rob.
And there's that threat of a shot blocker altering the shot again.
Dukes, a little bit out of control, got away with it. Scott tries a back-to-back three. That looked too far. He was working on that shot quite a bit before the game tonight.
That one was a little early in the shot clock. You got to be in natural rhythm.
Smith in from the corner, got it.
Now that play, Scott helped too much. When you're on the ball side, you just stunt. He committed way too much to the ball handler and left him wide open. You can't do that.
I have a feeling it's going to be a seesaw night here on the scoreboard. Siena's back in the lead by 1. 15 on the shot clock. Dukes pulls up. That's just a bit short. No, it doesn't go. Seemed unfair. Smith in, thinking about it. Trying to establish Oganyemi down low. This is a great matchup as we talked about it. Oganyemi against Rob, up high, off the glass, doesn't go. There is a foul, and if it's on Rob, that would be his second.
Yeah, we were questioning the call on his first one before we went to our first break there. I think he got a bad call there. But again, inside offensive footwork is so important there, and where you post up, and he turned back to his strong shoulder, didn't make it. Not the best foul shooter. See if he can knock down 2 here for the Saints.
That is Rob's second, so he is going to be coming out. We weren't questioning whether the foul was made in the play. I thought it was on Dukes. I didn't think it was on Rob.
Yeah, I think they made and I would have been all over that. You know, when you have the head coach and 3 or 4 assistants, you designate someone to make sure they're getting all the right calls. And I believe they did not get that right, which is too bad. Now he's got to sit down.
L2 checks into the game for Rob. He's 6'9".
So that'll be interesting. Excuse me, Kevin. That'll be interesting now to see without Rob in there. You know, the inside game, points in the paint, how that alters the game plan for Siena.
Shane Gatling also in number 1. Also has the headband on as Siena continues with the pressure. And Scott looks like he'll bring it up the court. Hands off to Dukes. Back to Scott. Gatling will take a 3. Nice release on that one. Just a bit short, and standing out of bounds with the ball was Matt Scott.
Right off the bench, freshman taking a 3, like you said, nice release. Arc was a little flat, but everything else looked pretty good.
17-14, Siena with a 3-point lead. 13-20 to play here in the first half. Back out to right. That was Sammy Friday with the basketball in the game for the first time. He came in for Oganyemi, so Rob came out, so did Oganyemi after making that second free throw. Picked by Friday, boy, that was a vicious one. Put the shoulder into it. Smith with a drive, and doesn't go. Dukes with a rebound. Transition, fouls his big man all the way down, and he'll draw the foul. Smart play by the guard Dukes to follow his big forward down the court.
Yeah, he had a nice entourage there, but that's the 3rd or 4th time in this game where he's been in that lane, and he's in a lane there. If you're playing out there, young students of the game, think of it like a pool with 5 lanes, you know, and that's the 1 lane or the middle lane, and then the exterior lanes, and he just stayed right down between those elbows, and it's gold. We jinxed him on the foul shooting.
You did. I did.
Okay, we.
Kadeem.
I was using my French.
We are a team. We are a team. Kadeem Smith picked up his second, so he will come out of the basketball game. And Long comes back in. Second one looks to be the norm for Dukes.
Now, if he missed 2 in a row, that would be
a lead to halftime show. Inside for Long, and there's something wrong with that rim. Siena's got to be thinking jump basketball here on the rebound. That's the 3rd one that's rolled out of the rim.
Well, the larger point is Siena's doing a really nice job of breaking that pressure, and a lot of teams break pressure. That's a nice interior. He's got to make that. He got a little too far underneath. That's a gimme. Little golf term there for our golf expert I'm working with.
Oh, I don't believe in the gimme. unless it's my putt.
It's inside the leather, right?
Circle of friendship. Depends who you're playing with, how big the circle is. 17-15. That jump ball went to Niagara as Siena won the tip. That's where it went back to determine who got that. 12.5 to go. First half. Scott to Crochet. He'll drive. Nice floater there. Off the back rim, no good. And Wright tips it out to himself. Nice hesitation there. Hands off to Clarith. He'll take the high jumper. Back rim, no good. Clarith on the tap rebound. Stutter step. Went to feed it to Friday, and it went out of bounds. The Niagara basketball. We do have a substitution as Smithen will come back in for Clarith.
Yeah, that was a bad shot. Clarith came out. There's one thing that really drives coaches nuts, is a bad shot.
Dukes. Until we had a jump basketball as L2.
Yeah, that was a great block, great timing there, and you got to finish that on the other side there. Both two Siena guys there, finish that on the other side, use the backboard as a natural ally.
Speaking of ally, it's Ali too, who had that opportunity.
Little zone here, Kevin, which we suggested they might do based on Siena's prowess or lack thereof from the three.
Bisping thought about the three. Back to Wright, working the perimeter, under 10 on the shot clock, approaching 5. Wright inside to Bisping, and he got blocked as Ali 2 came up with that one. 3 the other way, no, off the back rim. Gatling's 2 opportunities from 3 don't go. Dukes from 3, got it. Looked like a free throw the way he held that pose.
Yeah, he did, and that's a good tip here. Watch it go in. Your feet are square. Gatling's had 2 good looks.
Lead changes again. Now in Niagara's favor, 18-17. Siena having some issues here with this zone.
I'm a big believer in getting inside once and then playing inside-out basketball just like that and then kick it out.
Friday tried to go up and under, and he'll be fouled this time by 2. So we will take a timeout with that foul. We come back. We'll head to the free throw line, and Niagara leading 18-17 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. You know, I'm going to risk getting a text from our good friend Mike McDonald on this, but aside from Jeff Ruland, Jimmy Patsos is one of my favorite coaches in MAC history as he continues to coach in the MAC Conference. 4th year at Siena, 56-61, over 200 wins, 16th coach of program history, a couple of 20-win seasons for him, and he was at Loyola for many, many years, 9 years, Jimmy Patsos. And why I like him, he's a good basketball coach. I love how he treats his players and love the passion that he displays.
Yeah, he's very enthusiastic, and he has definitely calmed down. But the players, I was very animated on the sidelines, and I think my players really enjoyed that. You got to balance that between, you know, harping on the refs, and you got to pick your spots with the players. You can't, you know, you got to know which ones you can get on publicly and which ones you got to sit down and gently tell them what they're doing wrong.
That was Sammy Friday, hit 1 of 2 from the free throw line, tying the game at 18. We're getting close to the midpoint of the first half. 10:45 and counting. Dukes the turnaround, and that, I think, was changed direction by Friday. The up and under rebound. And there's a nice tap in. Diving into the play, Ali too.
He's been very active.
Goes up again, and that gets blocked from behind by Brochet. Siena will reset here.
They're going to stick with the zone. Now they switch back out of it. A little matchup, and a lot of times teams do man-to-man on misses and 2-3 on makes.
Lob inside to Long, pump fake, window, and he got that one to go. 20-20. Crochet to Dukes here. Siena in the man-to-man, and we have a foul. And it's going to be a blocking foul.
I believe it's on Long.
I'm going to call Sammy Friday, actually. He was going out anyhow. Picks up a foul before he exits. Now what he wanted to do is Oganyemi comes back into the game for the Saints. Dominic Robb still on the bench with those 2 fouls for Niagara. Now we have an offensive foul on Ali too. That'll be his second. So both big men for Niagara have 2 fouls.
And the third big man's coming in right now. But what happens on these screens a lot of times is players stick out their hip or their shoulder, and it's twofold. It's the player coming off the screen and the screener. Good job by Crochet there, helping and not giving up the 3.
Right on the offense. There's a lob, and there's the dunk to finish the alley-oop. The Javion Oganyemi.
See that play a lot against zones, Kevin. A lot of times you screen the back end guy and lob it up there, and easy 2.
Dukes, may have took off before he dribbled, got away with it, lost the ball, however. Smith in, nice acrobatic play there, doesn't go, and the Saints were out of bounds when they touched the basketball. So it'll be Niagara basketball. 2 will come out. Coming in is Maurice Taylor, the 6'6" senior from Cambridge, Massachusetts, wearing number 20. Also in the game for the first time for the Purple Eagles, Kevin Larkin, redshirt sophomore from Georgetown, Delaware, 6'5". He wears number 2. Dukes against right here. And directing traffic a bit in the offensive set. Now to 10 on the shot clock. Larkin finds Brochet, and he stutter-stepped, and that's a travel.
You know, Kevin, you could just see that whole sequence there. They didn't get into their offensive set. You have 3 players out there that don't play a lot of minutes, and right from the get-go, it did not look fluid, and then you rush when it's under 10 on the shot clock, and that's a point of emphasis. I always call that the cha-cha-cha. You got to establish that pivot foot. Be quick. Don't be in a hurry, right?
Oh, Oganyemi couldn't handle the long pass as he snuck in behind the defense.
He was deciding what type of dunk he was going to execute.
Yeah, and our cameraman's thankfully didn't dive for the basketball.
Yeah.
22-20, the lead for Siena, 8.5 to play here in the first half. This one slowed down a bit. That pace was frenetic at the beginning. Gatling off the drive, contact, window, good.
Boy, that's great body control. Like you said, there a little contact. Good no call, but again, emphasize this for the young players out there. High and soft off the board. Takes great body control.
We're tied once again. Right, take the screen 3 there. Oh, that went in and out and knocked out of bounds off of Claret's hands.
Got to make sure you box out against a good Siena team. That's their forte. They're a very good rebounding team, especially on those long 3s.
Checking in for the first time, Khalil Richard will come in for Nico Clareth for the Saints.
A lot of players in this half. You were talking about laying off for 11 days and over break and everything, and making sure they all have fresh legs here for the second half.
Gatling trying to extend the offense here, create some space. Dukes, nice turn and fire there. That's in and out. And Long with a rebound. And he'll push. Handles in transition, looking for Bisping. Pass a little too long and tough for him to control. This is a low pass for the big man on the break. We will take a break. Speaking of that, still more to come here in the first half. Tied at 22 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Well, the Chris Casey foul, head coach at Niagara in his 4th season here, 26 and 83, 115 wins overall in his 10th season as a head coach. 27 years in the coaching biz at all 3 levels here. It was at Long Island Long Island University Post, where previous head coaching stop was before being hired here at Niagara 4 years ago.
And following a legend, Joe Mahalik really had this program going, and tough to do. Nice look inside there, huh?
Maurice Taylor able to convert on that excellent pass. Gives Niagara the lead, 24-22, and the Purple Eagles back in that zone we saw for a few minutes earlier this half. Gave Siena some issues. Bisping gets it back, makes a move. He tried to go up and under, and he traveled.
Well, Taylor did a nice job there clogging up the middle, and you said it, Kevin, they're having a little trouble, Siena, with this zone. I mean, statistically, you know, they're the worst three-point shooting team in the MAC. Makes a lot of sense, but you still have to execute, and players got to rotate, not get lazy. And Niagara did a nice job on that possession defensively.
James Towns in the ball game for the first time for Niagara. He wears number 5. He brought the ball up the court there. Scott trying to drive to the hoop, goes hard, gets up, doesn't get it to go, but is fouled. And Long is on the floor. He's the player that committed the foul. He's called for the blocking play.
He's got a great first step here, Scott, and this is his game. Drawing contact.
Caught an elbow right to the kisser.
A lot of times they look at that. Here we have a good job by our crew out there. Those are tough. I think I broke my nose about 6 times playing basketball. And the other thing is the fingers. The fingers, right?
Sometimes a break's better than a jam, right?
Yes, yes.
A Long second foul, so he will take a seat.
A lot of guys with 2 fouls. Niagara's played, it looks like 11 players this half, and that'll tighten up in the second half, obviously.
Scott doesn't get that to go. Bisping with a rebound. So 1 of 2 from the charity stripe for Mr. Scott. And Richard pass over the far side. That's Asante Shivers in the game for the first time. Smithen back out to Shivers. Shivers going to drive, spin,
And that's a turnover as Gatling knocked away, but Bisping comes back with it. Nice feed there, and they'll give it back to the big guy. However, that pass ill-advised as time expired in the shot clock.
Yeah, one too many passes. Actually, it's just one too many there.
And look at Levon Long on the bench there. He got the worst end of that foul. He got the personal and it feels personal. That
Salt
elbow.
on the wounds there.
Certainly hope he's okay, and will be okay, we hope, for the second half. Certainly want to be cautious when there's contact. Like that to the head. Gatling, he goes high and gets knocked down hard.
Niagara's done a very nice job off some of these transitional plays and then secondary plays where they come off the screen and get in the lane there. Lee's been doing it, and then that's the first time for Gatling. So a lot of foul shots by the guards, which is kind of unusual to see here.
Yeah, Oganyemi would call for the foul was first, and Gatling makes the first. I'm impressed how the Purple Eagles, you're mentioning, the guards go into the line, how they're attacking the basket.
That's what you want. I mean, they're shooting a lot better from the three, but I like how they are attacking. They're taking what they give them and going hard, not just going down the lane, and they're putting it up there nice and soft.
It's now a 5-point lead for the Purple Eagles with 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Some pressure here by Niagara with that 5-point lead. Oh, it's a high pass there, right? Able to come down with it.
It's the first time Siena had trouble with that half-court trap.
And staying in that zone. To the post. Oganyemi, he gets blocked.
I think that was Crochet on the backside.
Scott, he'll take the three in transition, gets it. Could be timeout time here for Jimmy Patsos. 30-22. Well, he'll keep it going. Clara thought about the catch and shoot. Out of the foul line, throws a shoulder, and that's going the other way.
Now he wishes he took the timeout, right? I mean, getting a little impatient. He's a scorer, Clarence, and that's what they think. He came out once before for doing that. Now he's got to sit down again. A lot of foul issues.
And Levon Long comes back into the game, so that's a good sign after taking that contact.
A lot of people wonder why they didn't go to the look at the monitor on that play. They've had a lot of trouble with this press. Oh boy, and they gave him a break there.
Yeah, Scott got there's some contact there, and he lost his footing. He called timeout as he was falling out of bounds. Interesting, smart play, and he got the call.
Yeah, he got the call. It looked like he may have traveled. It was right in front of the ref, obviously, but they've had trouble with that zone trap.
Well, some other great Division I action coming up here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. This time we're going to the frozen pond, the ice, as St. Louis will be at Canisius this Friday, January 6th, a 7:30 p.m. face-off at the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. We'll also be there Saturday night for the back end of the series. Another 7:30 p.m. game on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. St. Lawrence at Canisius.
They play those at the Harbor Center? Is that
They'll be down at Harbor Center, yes.
I've been down there, and that is really fun. Was it seat about 1,500, 2,000?
I'll
I
be
encourage
there.
people to go down there.
I'll be there
cool.
Saturday night on the call. Looking forward to seeing the Griffs in action. Dave Smith and his team. Towns looking to inbounds. He's on a 4 count. He'll call another timeout. So just like that, the Purple Eagles to burn through 2 timeouts. This will be another 30-second timeout for the Purple Eagles.
Well, you don't like to see that, obviously. You come out of a timeout, you know, and you're setting. Now, Towns doesn't play a lot, and he's taking the ball out. And back-to-back timeouts, you got to execute better. And I can tell you right now, someone didn't listen, right? There's 3 options, and it comes down to fundamentals and not coming off a screen and following directions there. And that just drives you nuts as a coach.
Do you change the inbounder off of that?
I would. I had very little tolerance for mental mistakes like that. You know, commission, omission, all that fun stuff.
I know from working with you. Yes, you don't.
Well, they didn't change the inbounder, but they'll execute better here.
He's at a 3 count and is able to get it in to Scott. But look at that pressure by Siena, and Scott able to break it. Look at that. Off the pass, Magic Johnson style. That shot didn't go. And great job by Gatling. Athleticism there to keep the play alive. They can afford to reset here. That's what Chris Casey's yelling at him. Reset us. There's no rush.
He's out of timeout.
30-22. Now 15 on the shot clock. Towns to Scott. He'll drive. Ooh, little push off there. Got away with it. Fall away jumper. No good. And Bisping with the rebound and the foul on Taylor.
See, that's disappointing for Niagara, Kevin. They had an 8-point lead in the last. They had 2 timeouts, a bad possession just there. That's a bad shot. I consider that a bad possession. Even though your best player's taking a shot, he's off balance. You know, it's not a good shot.
There's a chance to get it to double digits, and now a chance to cut that lead. Is Wright will bring that out. Back into Long. Spin, the left-hander goes up, doesn't go. Oganyemi from underneath the bucket. That's usually dead man's land, and he's able to get a basket from it. That cuts the lead to 6.
Can't teach height and length, and that was a beautiful move there. And again, that's Rob not being in the game. The absence that shot blocker go up with a lot of freedom.
That was an impressive move by Javion Oganyemi. Gatling looking for the pick and roll here, and he carried the basketball. So that's 2 straight possessions that you have to deem turnovers by the Niagara Purple Eagles. That one for sure, and that missed shot after those 2 timeouts. They still lead by 6 here in the first half on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Well, coming in tonight, Siena is the only team in Division I to have 4 1,000-point scores on the active roster. Bisping, Wright, Long, and Oganyemi entering tonight's game. That's impressive.
That's very impressive. Well, that speaks to the continuity of the program. Siena's had a good program. We've documented that. That is, but you know what? In between all that, sometimes, you know, you got me guys. Now, Bisping's not a me guy, but sometimes guys want to get their shots, and it can create a problem. But it's a good problem to have, I guess.
Bisping, by the way, just 4 points thus far, but really asserted himself in the second half Monday at Canisius. See if he's able to do that the same here tonight. Cross-court pass, right, thought about the 3, goes baseline instead, and didn't have enough on it. That's off of Oganyemi, and that'll be Niagara's basketball.
That's a tough shot there. And Khalid Dukes has been out for a while, and he didn't have any foul trouble with leading scorer for Niagara.
That shot blocked, the 3-pointer. Long blocked Barton's 3 attempt. The Saints coming back here in transition. Long thought about the 3. He'll drive. There's that Euro step you talked about the other day. Doesn't go, though.
Beautiful step for a big man, but he's got to finish it. You're right.
Crochet 3 and home rim, no good.
This is not Niagara's game.
Right. Little stutter step there. Pulls up. Boy, in and out. That's the second time that's happened to him tonight, at least.
I like the fact that he did pull up and took that little 12-footer, but a lot of these guys don't have the proper rotation on their shot. They got to work on that, but Niagara's gone cold here, and they could have extended this lead several times.
Crochet, a little curl there with the ball. Whoa, it's 2 in a row. Unfriendly rim. He's looking forward to the second half, perhaps.
Yes. Well, both teams have gone cold here, Kevin. It's really been quite a drought. You said the first TV timeout, the pace was pretty good. It's really slowed down here. I think the zone, too, had a lot to do with it.
That lake effect front coming in also. Perhaps that cooled some things off here at Niagara. That lob inside. Fortunately finds Oganyemi, and he gets fouled as he made the basket.
Boy, that was good fortune for Siena, because Wright threw it to no one in particular. He just said, I'll throw it to a goal guy. Look at this pass. I'll take it. But again, if you can always turn to your inside power shoulder, your left shoulder for a right-hander, good things usually happen. But that was very fortunate for the Saints.
That is 2 now on Taylor. And a chance to cut the lead, and the three-point play goes. Now the lead's just 3. For Niagara.
The pace of this game, there's no continuity to it, and that's because there's been so many subs because of the foul trouble.
Oganyemi now has 9. That leads the Saints. Dukes looking for a pick there. Oh, trying to spin, but spun without the basketball. Oganyemi comes up with it. And they'll wait for the big man to get down the court with the purple shoes with the green soles. I know you have a pair of those. Smithen. For the feed, 15 the shot clock. Nice hesitation dribble there. Long, use those long arms to protect the basketball. Trying to work his way in, back out to Oganyemi, and a 3-second violation. And I think they got Brett Bisping.
Well, he's a great rebounder, but I think there were 3 different times that he thought his teammates were going to shoot that possession, and they all decided for a variety of reasons not to. You don't see that call very often. They usually give you about 5 seconds, truth be told.
Is that an antiquated rule, in your opinion?
Yes.
I agree.
It is.
Guys are much bigger now. They need more space there. Whoa, that is a travel. That's not an antiquated rule. That one still prevails in basketball.
And that is a point of emphasis there, especially in the post. They're looking for that establishment. They used to give it away there. Pretty good defense there. Yeah, even in the NBA, that would have been a travel.
What are you saying? Minute 19 to play. It's 30-27. Right, he'll pull up. Soft touch on that one.
And a better rotation on it. You could just tell as soon as you released it.
1-point game. Dukes lost his footing, and it's rejected by Oganyemi. The little Dukes, that was tough though, as he kind of lost his footing. He might have stepped on a foot.
Yeah, and he also was out of control. You got to, and I said this the other night on our broadcast, you got to downshift there. Now, when no one's in the lane there, go for it like he did early in the game. But you have to recognize when there's help there, and 6'9" versus 5'9" doesn't work.
And we have an offensive foul that is going to be on Khalil Dukes, and perhaps some frustration there. And Niagara can't wait for halftime right now.
Right. They've been stuck at 30 here for a while. But Dukes, he pushed off on the other side. He came up the bench. And ever since then, he's been very impatient. He's cost his team 2 possessions.
Bisping, he is trapped, and that's knocked away by Dukes. He'll go in for the layup. The lefty goes. Needed basket for the Purple Eagles.
Much needed, you're right.
30-29. Saints will set the offense. You see the senior Marquise Wright saying, all right, let's set things up here. Go to Bisping. Inside to Oganyemi, nice spin off the glass. Go to the big man, feed him. He's got 11.
And a beautiful pass by Bisping too.
I believe Chris Casey was yelling clock on the play as it's synced up, so it's probably gonna be an isolation for Dukes, you think?
Yes, pick and roll here. They're showing like a little zone here, but they're gonna match up out of it.
Under
here
10
comes
now.
The pick.
Dukes high off the glass, rebound no good. Last second chance here for Bisping. Long shot, no, doesn't go. Had a good look at it. And just what we expected. A very tight basketball game here in the first half as the Niagara Purple Eagles and Chris Casey, well, yeah, he deserves that cup of water right there. As his Purple Eagles hanging on to a 1-point lead at the half, 32-31. on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Stay with us.
Bisping, Dukes, Oganyemi, Scott, Oganyemi. What we're going to do is score, highlights. He wants to stretch. No highlights this segment. It's fluff. It's all analysis.
So what are we just going to talk about the game?
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Well, at the half here at the Taps Gallagher Center, where the Niagara Purple Eagles, the home team, leading by 1 over the Siena Saints, 32-31. Kevin Sylvester along with Richard Wallace. And Richard, what an interesting first half, particularly the start. I mean, an unbelievable pace the first couple minutes of the basketball game, and I guess we shouldn't have expected to stay that way. Possible to stay that way.
Yeah, you made a good point earlier that they maybe have their legs after a long break, but then they lost their legs, right? And that does happen as a coach. You worry about that. And then a lot of foul trouble to key players changed the whole pace of the game and the continuity. You saw some uneven play, which led to the score going down, a lot of silly mistakes.
I thought it was interesting, too, that the Niagara Purple Eagles were able to attack the basket early, and they're able to keep Siena away from the post game, but all of a sudden that flipped there in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the guards especially, I made that point early about their getting to the basket, and then Siena tightened that up. Siena did a nice job, I think, also of pressuring Niagara. Niagara's Achilles heel, I think, is they don't really have a true point guard, and you see that manifest itself throughout the half.
Well, you mentioned the foul trouble, and that certainly played a role in that post game for Siena. Dominic Robb kind of took it away from Oganyemi, that great matchup we were talking about, the two big men, and when Robb out of the game, Oganyemi inserted himself late.
He definitely did. Yeah, he had at least 3 interior baskets he probably would not have had if Robb was in there. The other thing that hurt Siena too a little bit was the zone that Niagara ran at him. They had a lot of trouble with that, and we talked about that because they're not a very good three-point shooting team. So good strategy by Coach Casey using the zone there.
Yeah, let me put your coach's cap on for both sides. For Coach Casey, Niagara Purple Eagles, what's your message at halftime?
Well, I think with Niagara, every time I see them play, take care of the ball, play under control, you know, and they've got the shot blockers. When they got to run, make good decisions when you're running. They made some bad decisions there, especially late in the half. They've got to understand when to go and when to pull it out. And that comes with veteran leadership, which they're kind of lacking right now. For Siena, get it inside more. Even if Robb's in there, play your game. Against the zone, though, get it inside, be patient. But when you're open, take it. I always used to tell my players, I don't mind if you miss the shot that we taught you to shoot. Keep shooting it if you're open. Now, a bad shot's a whole different story.
Yeah, and I got to believe that they'll go right back to Oganyemi to try to pick up that third on Robb when we come back for the second half. We still have more for you coming up here at halftime. We'll go through the highlights and all the numbers. The fans enjoying some young players out here on the court. It's not quite a nail-biter yet, young lady, but it's 32-31 Niagara here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Excuse me? You might want to rephrase that. Score, highlights. Are we doing stats or are we doing that when we sit down? Okay, all right. Okay.
Let's win. Score.
And some of the young players putting on a show here. We've seen some great shots at halftime from these youngsters here at the Taps Gallagher Center. 32-31 Niagara on top of Siena here at the half. Kevin Sylvester along with Richard Walsh. Let's take you through some of the highlights from the first half. We mentioned a great pace early on and then some work down low by both teams. And Brett Bisping, we mentioned him early on. We see that rejection there, and Duke's coming back for the Purple Eagles as he'll find Dominic Robb right there.
Yeah, good interior passing. That was one of the best passing plays there. And speaking of great passing plays, inside like that, Siena had 8 assists on 9 of their baskets.
And there's Mr. Dukes at 3. He looked like a free throw. He's shooting 95% from the charity stripe, and that one looked easy.
Yeah, when you give a kid like that a wide open look, that's going to happen. And here's the alley-oop that's a common play against the 2-3 zone. Easy 2 points.
We talked about Mr. Scott to begin with, and he'll take that nice 3, the lefty, draining.
But that was in rhythm, and that's what I was talking about at halftime there. That was in rhythm. Go for it. This is a nice move. Using underneath the basket. A lot of teams don't use that. Very nice move. And here's the kind of, oops, I'll take it and finish it. Very fortunate for Siena there to get those 2 points.
And if you're Niagara, you have to be concerned that Javion Ogunyemi got himself going there late in the first half.
I agree. He's a very good player, one of their 1,000-point scorers.
All right, that's something we'll watch for in the second half. We'll take one more timeout. We'll come back. We'll look at those numbers for those who keep track at home as the Purple Eagles still leading by 1 here at the half. We expect a great second half for you right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
All right. Forgot to wear my diaper tonight.
Oh, do I get to be on TV?
Tonight's halftime show brought to you by Depends, because when you gotta go, it depends. Jimmy, I was concerned there for you for a minute. Looked like Dukes is coming into there, his house.
Yeah, he started fussing and complaining.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
And some more first half action there. Dominic Robb, who had some early foul trouble for the Purple Eagles, as the Saints back on the floor here. Some of those highlights from the first half as the Saints trail Niagara by 1. That beautiful alley-oop, nice low angle shot there. And Scott with that 3 for the Purple Eagles. That's something I'm sure Niagara wants more of, Richard, those 3-point shots. And we know Siena wants that post game from Ogun Yemi, who asserted himself low. Let's take a look at the numbers. From that first half, the Saints shooting 34%, Niagara 40%, buoyed pretty early on there. Both teams 33% from the three-point line, just one more for Niagara. How about the turnovers? The turnovers an issue, I thought, for the Purple Eagles there in that first half.
Absolutely, and then the assists, 9 assists out of 11 baskets for Siena. Niagara has been shooting pretty well from 3 the last 2 games. I did a little quick math, 45%, so they cooled off here considerably.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this camera shot right now, only because the jig is up on us here. We do sit down most of the game here. I tell people, oh, it's grueling. We stand up. We have unbelievable seats to watch the game and bring the games to you here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. For the second half, both these teams are very hungry, Richard. I mean, they both want to win. Siena hasn't won yet on the road, and Niagara wants to get that second MAC win after coming so close the other day against Quinnipiac.
Yeah, they're definitely both hungry. I mean, as you said, Siena hasn't won on the road. And Niagara had a win here the other night and let it slip away. So you're going to see a very competitive 20 minutes here. 2 teams getting after it. They better play hungry.
All right, let's look at the leading scorers on each side of the basketball. Javion Ogunyemi came in averaging 13.5 points per game. He's got 11 already tonight on those 4 field goals. They do a nice job of the rebounds, too. And Khalil Dukes averaging 15.6. He also leading the way right now for the Purple Eagles with 13 points. Made that 1-3. Some free throws in there, and really attacking the basket early on.
Attacking it early with some good common sense. Attacking it late, out of control, and that was the difference. I think if we looked real quickly, 11 of those 13 points came in the first 10 minutes.
Certainly did. Exciting player, too, and we'll see if he's able to attack the basket here in the second half as we look at Javion Ogunyemi, too. Really like his game. Seeing him for the second time tonight. Really a nice offensive force for Jimmy Patsos.
Yeah, he's creative underneath that. We saw that 1 up and under he made. And what I like, as I said, the interior passing for Siena has been excellent. And against that zone, they need to get it inside, and they've got to knock down a couple threes. Look for Niagara maybe to shoot a little better from 3 this half as well.
Jimmy Patsos giving some final instructions there. Evan Fisher, haven't seen him yet tonight. We saw him the other night against Canisius. Let's look at some other score tonight. Right now at the half, Quinnipiac leading Canisius 36-35 over at the Kessler Athletic Center in Buffalo.
What that tells me, Kevin, is Quinnipiac is keeping that pace low. 88 points a game, Canisius, give or take. So that's what their strategy is there.
And Quinnipiac, if they're able to hang on to that, they would come out of their Western New York trip with 2 victories, which you mentioned the other day. You look for 1 on the road when you head out of town for 2 games, but to get both, that is just bonus time.
Yeah, especially how well Canisius is playing, and they stole the 1 here yesterday. So they're going to have very fond memories of Western New York, even with below zero wind chill here as they depart.
Well, get your coin out, because when the Purple Eagles lead at halftime, it's a coin toss. 3-3 so far this season. See if they can make it 4-3. And the inbounds pass, Siena with that pressure, picking up where they left off. Rob back in the game here to start the second half. It was 2 fouls, caught him early. And we'll see how long he's able to go here in the second half. Duke to Rob. On the low post, he turns. Nice jump hook there. Too strong, though, over the top of Oganyemi. And a rebound comes out to Siena. Inside to Long. He's quickly double teamed. Quick pass out. That's a long shot for Oganyemi. No good. I think that's a shot Jimmy Patsos wants him to take.
Long is a really big problem outside for Barton there. What a matchup. You talked about 6'6", 6'7", and they're going right to him again.
Looks like a well put together 6'7", too. There's some beef there. Nice feed to Wright as he goes up and under. Contact, no foul. Oganyemi, though, strong on the boards, and he gets another bucket. Back the other way. Scott goes up hard, and they're going to say he traveled.
That's what I keep stressing with Niagara. I mean, I love the fact that they get out and run after a score. Teams do that, but he's got to make a better decision there. 1-on-3, pull it out, and get a better shot.
Break the pressure. Right. We'll see if they'll establish Bisping at all here in the second half, too. Or Siena.
Going right to the zone here.
Clarith. That bounce pass looking for Bisping at the high post. Broken up, 2-on-1 the other way. Dukes catch and layup.
Those live ball turnovers, Kevin, get you every time. Usually get an easy transition opportunity.
Right, trying the transition. Clarith. Spin, turn, and got that to go. I think that kept him in the game.
Yeah, that's right. He's had a little trouble with shot selection, but he's a scorer. He's their scorer.
Speaking of scores, Dukes up high. Nice rebound and put back without coming down for Dominic Robb.
This is the pace we saw to start the first half, to see if they can sustain it.
They were watching the show. They want to bring it back to us. A couple lead changes here early on. That's a turnover. Bisping's pass a little too low and hard there.
That's 10th grade geometry, bad angle. You got to have a better angle there. Senior leadership. And the other thing is, Long's feet weren't set when he's in the post. You can't give it to a big man until his feet are set.
Lazy pass picked off there by Clarith. Nice behind the back, and the finish with the foul.
Well, Khalid Dukes, you said it. It was a lazy pass. You don't throw everything. I always say this, 2 people are at fault there because one doesn't come meet it, but it was just a careless pass and then a frustration foul. This is very, look how careless that is. And then little Pete Maravich here at the end, and then that's just a frustration foul.
And Wright will convert the 3-point play for those youngsters. Your job is to Google Pete Maravich.
Yes.
38-36, so Siena with the lead. Seesaw fair here to start the second half. It was only a 1-point game at halftime. Niagara did have an 8-point lead at one junction, of the first half. And that drive counts. The basket counts for Chris Barton. And we have a foul. So he'll head to the free throw line. Nico Clarith called for the personal.
Now this is an example of recognizing there's no one else there, so you do go all the way. You can see to our left there that they had to respect the 3-point shooter, so then you go full steam. But you have to read that seam as a point guard, and you have to make that decision quickly. And when you do, they've been very effective.
Clarith, 3rd foul, so he'll take a rest. And gets the roll there. There's Chris Barton. Pressure here from Niagara with a 1-point lead now. Inside, Oganyemi. Over to Wright. He'll pull up, take the 17-footer, doesn't go. Rebound to Crochet. Up the floor, Scott. He'll back out of that. But Dukes will take the 3 as he steps into it. Backward, no good.
I don't think that's a good shot. You got to, especially if you're going right to left like that. Your feet aren't set too early in the shot clock.
Bisping thought about the corner 3.
That's the difference right there. You know, you don't take a wild shot as a 5th-year senior.
Out to Wright, he'll take it. Line drive type shot, no good.
You nailed it. Line drive. You got to get early arc on your shots. Those young people that are looking up Pete Maravich right now, remember that too.
I had a player on our team look up Artis Gilmore the other day.
Very nice.
Roche's pass, errant one there as Ogunyemi picks it off.
We talked about the turnovers. Niagara, that's their Achilles heel. They need a guard to take control.
Bisping, three, got it.
He's the guy. I mean, we talked about it, 41% from three. He is first team All-MAC for a reason.
Got 7 now with that three. And it's a 41-39 lead for the Saints. Scott trying to find some room there. Prochet long three. That's back rim strong. Scott with a rebound. That got blocked by Ogunyemi.
Other than the layup, Niagara has not taken a good shot in my mind this half.
Smith and running things here. A little different look. And we'll have a foul on the Purple Eagles. And we will take a timeout here. A needed one for Niagara on the floor as they're now trailing by 2. Plenty of time, though, the second half here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Now, Javion Ogunyemi right now having an excellent game for the Saints with 13 points. Scored his 1,000th career point against Bucknell back on December 17th. Second in the MAC with blocks. He's got 2 here tonight. 164 in his career. No surprise to see that he's a preseason first-team All-MAC selection. They're a very nice player, Ogunyemi.
And he works very well with Bisping inside there, and that's really quite a luxury.
Seems pretty smart, too, the way he plays the basketball.
Yeah, high IQ, you're right. Looking for a lob there. Niagara in that 2-3 zone. Niagara's really got to do a much better job, Kevin, here taking care of the ball. Dukes especially. He's got 5 turnovers already.
Down to 10 on the shot clock now for the Saints, looking for Ogunyemi. Right, we'll back out now 5. They find Bisping. He's trying to feed Ogunyemi, overpassing, I thought, there by the Saints.
I think you're absolutely right. Your youth basketball team must be pretty good. I don't think overpassing is a problem for 10 and under. I've noticed that. But anyways,
no, they don't pass enough. You're correct on that.
Bisping should have gone right up there with a baby left hook, and I know that he's got that. It's great that he's unselfish, but as a 5th-year senior, he's got to know the shot clock and just go up with it.
Well, turnover there for the Saints. That 2-point lead. Of course, coaches hate to see that out of a timeout also.
Yes.
Now we'll see if Niagara can get back on track here with their half-court game. Dukes, who has 15. It's up there to Chris Barton. Barton, by the way, his numbers from three-point range, percentage-wise, are outstanding.
Yeah, it's almost, you think it's a misprint, like 78%.
78, yes. Scott just outside the free throw line, doesn't go, too strong. And Wright comes down with a rebound. He'll push. Bisping thought about that three and had it taken away by Boucher. Bodies flying on the floor for the basketball. The Saints come up with it. Right, up and under. No, and that's a foul, and probably not a great one considering the angle.
That was a terrible foul. You're being generous, which being the good guy that you are. But, yeah, that was going over. Just go straight up. Bisping got away with a foul right before that. You like to see the hustle, and I think this is kind of a microcosm. That's ridiculous by Taylor, you know, just swatting at it like that. You learn that just go straight up. Absolutely no reason. And Niagara is really off to a very slow start here shooting-wise. And when you think about it, they had 30 points at the 6 minutes left in the first half, 11 minutes, 9 points. And a lot of it is self-inflicted.
Well, Ali, too, will come in for Maurice Taylor, who picked up his third foul.
Well,
Dominic Robb is on the bench right now for Puerto Rico. And both free throws go for Wright.
I would have taken Taylor out if he had one foul, just for that. You know, that's just, you're taught that. At some point, you got to be accountable for what you do. You know the coach is teaching.
43-39. Now a 4-point lead for the Saints. Pick and roll. Dukes trying to find two there, and we have a foul on the other end. So Ali, too, will head to the free throw line.
I give Dukes giving a little constructive criticism on being better with the ball. That time, you could almost hear his sneakers. He did a little stutter step there, which is slowing his speed down, and then he hit him beautifully there. He's got to finish that, though, because I don't know if that was a hard foul, but much better offensive execution for Niagara there.
And that shot no good for Ali, too, who shoots 43%.
And after that shot, I see why.
From the charity line.
That's one of my favorite terms there, foul for profit. Put him on the line.
That foul, by the way, was on Javion Oganyemi, his second, and he was listening. He wanted to show you up. He made it. Good for him.
Good for him, absolutely. And by the way, I did say this the first half. He gave a lot of energy off the bench.
Right, thought about it. 3-point game. Cross-court pass, got him Fisher, who came in for Oganyemi. Corner three, rolls out, and there's Ali, too. They earned some more minutes playing that way. Long pass by Scott, able to control. Duke's NBA three, got it! Yes, sir!
That all started with the Saints gambling, trying to intercept.
And that contested layup will be a foul. It doesn't go. Ali, too, will contract that foul. Actually, Barton will be called for it. Barton.
Well, defensive transition here. Look at that, just crazy. Dukes, you could see that out there. He was looking the other way. We picked up the tail end of that play.
That free throw breaks the 43 all tie. Still a lot of time left in this basketball game. Just as you see, under 14 on the clock.
Another good foul shooter.
Yeah, 89%.
He's a transition guy, and he really got out there pretty quickly. Teams really like to look to run after a make. That's a big change in basketball. Started by Dean Smith at North Carolina. Got to look up that on Google, too.
Man-to-man defense here by the Saints. Scott, nice crossover there. Pull back jumper. Ooh, in and out. Look good. It doesn't go. Right. Bring it back out. And Smithen will reset the rotation here. Nice bounce pass on the pick and roll, and it got blocked. That was blocked from behind. Ali, too. And transition back. Scott able to convert the layup. Tied at 45.
That's Scott's game. Sometimes he gets away with it, sometimes he doesn't, but they need his energy if they're going to win this basketball game.
The pass was blocked right to Von Long. And we have an offensive foul on Long, and that'll be his third.
And that's the matchup we talked about. Barton's got his hands full there, literally, with Long, and that is, again, a point of emphasis in the NCAA this year. Establishing position, he extended his arm and got caught there, and now he's got to sit down. I didn't like it when my players just say, I got a mismatch. You know, just let it come naturally to you and not force it in there, and that's what they were looking to do there.
Bounce pass to Scott. Drive, switches hands, niftily done by Mr. Scott.
Nice curl. He came off. We call that a curl screen. Nice set play. And like I said, if Niagara's going to have a chance here, he's got to turn it up. So far, so good in those last 2 possessions.
By the way, for those who are grammar police, I'm not sure niffly's a word. Hogan Yemi able to convert on that one. But if it's not, maybe I just made one.
Well,
tonight.
That's okay. Clarith is a really good offensive player there, but I'm really impressed how unselfish Siena is. Maybe they learned something the other night from Canisius and how unselfish they were, and maybe they showed that tape.
Dukes gets it to go from 18.5 feet, which is usually a bad shot.
Well,
because 19-1,
yes.
once they moved it back, it's 20 now, right?
Right. It's a little further back, but you know what? I think players look down at that line too much. I understand the math of it. We're getting into the SATs here now. We're doing English and math.
It's 49-47 Niagara. Those are important numbers right now, as is the time. 11:42 and counting. Siena with the basketball here. Smitten, nice hop dribble there. Right. He'll pull up. Nope, he'll find Fisher. Goes in, and we have a foul on Ollie 2. So when we come back, Evan Fisher will head to the free throw line. We have a timeout on the floor. We've got a good one here at the Taps Gallagher Center on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Saturday afternoon, we have women's college basketball for you here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel as the Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio are at Toledo. That's a noon tip-off only on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Home of Ben Roethlisberger, right? He went to Miami, Ohio?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It was like watching Jim Kelly play against junior football players. Watching Ben Roethlisberger in the MAC conference in college football.
Fisher's had 2 good opportunities to finish, and Jimmy Pantos does a really good thing, and I like this. I don't see a lot of coaches doing. He's out on the floor at that timeout, showing him what he did wrong on that layup, and I think that's great. You know, not enough coaches do that, and he's showing him, listen, this is what you did wrong. You got to go to the basket strong.
Well, Fisher missed the first.
There was a little inadvertent whistle over their buzzer, and that's why they're pausing here.
And second one, no good either.
Foul for profit there.
Towns in the ball game now, number 5 for Niagara. Second time we've seen him tonight. It is a 2-point lead for the Purple Eagles here at home. Dukes, pick and roll. Oh, nice block by Wright to elevate and knock that loose ball, though, picked up by 2 off the glass, and he is fouled, and that is going to be on Javion Ogunyemi, and that will be his 3rd.
Yeah, now a little bit different. A senior, 1,000-point scorer, so he'll maybe get a little rest here, maybe not, because here comes Long. But you just got to sit here and teach him. The Purple Eagles got lucky there. Just let him go, though, although, as we alluded to earlier, not the best foul shooter.
Well, you look at the minutes coming in to the game, and Ollie, too, averaging 7.9 minutes per game, but providing some valuable ones here tonight as he makes that.
2 in a row.
Yes, it is 2 in a row. It's a minor adjustment needing to make
Yes,
after
he did. That first one did not look good.
No, it did not. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
As Oganyemi comes out and Bisping back in along with Levon Long.
And you said he's getting additional minutes, and people, my players used to ask me, well, why aren't I getting minutes? If you're not a great scorer and you're not a great rebounder, 3 in a row, that could be a record.
Maybe Dukes has been coaching him.
There you go.
Almost a turnover there. We're going to have a foul, though, on Prochet. He's aggressively going for the basketball. That's a hustle foul, right? Are you okay with that?
I have no problem with that. Maybe a little bit early, but you almost got it. It's worth it. But back to my point, if you want minutes in the game, go in there and hustle. And there's one thing you never do enough of in basketball is rebounding and hustling. And those two things he's doing here this evening.
Right, thought about 3. Niagara in a zone defense. Clara, 3-pointer, and that's back rim, no good. Scott with a rebound, he'll push on the far side of the court. Here comes to Dukes. Dukes will drive the basket. There is contact. There will be a foul. That'll be on Levon Long, and if it is, that'll be numero 4. That'll be his 4th.
And now I know why you said that. I asked you what your wife teaches, and you said Spanish, so I'm glad we figured that out. But every chance Dukes has to go to the basket, he takes it. And, of course, that's set up. Remember he hit that nice little jumper before, and then his last jumper was blocked, so he said, I better go to the basket this time. And, of course, we've documented how successful he is at the foul line.
Javion Oganyemi will come in for Long, so the fellow with 4 fouls goes out. The guy with 3 comes back in.
And it's not always the big man's fault, Kevin, either. It's the guards not getting in front of him and letting him get that penetration. But the big men come out because they got to clean up their mess.
Long pass, Clarence going in, tries to go up and under. Gets his own loose ball rebound there, and it comes out to Scott. Scott with a European step there. He'll get the basket. And the foul. Well, hang on, let's see if the basket counts. We do have the foul. It will count.
And the referee was clearly pointing to the arc there as to why they called. Now, this is Scott's game. He's out of control, but he gets a break here because of where Fisher was relative to the arc. I'm sorry, Bisping.
And that'll be his first, Brett Bisping.
Learned his lesson the other night.
That's right. Foul trouble, did foul out against Canisius. And Scott for the 3-point play, able to convert that. Now 14 points for Matt Scott. And some pressure here from the Purple Eagles. Wright ducks through it, but he turned the ball over. Towns, 3-on-2 chance. Scott, 3. Yes.
That was a great read by Scott, and Towns was smart enough to tone it down a little bit. Saw that he didn't have the easy basket, pulled out. That's the new style of basketball, Kevin. Pull up for a 3.
All of a sudden, look at that scoreboard. 59-47 in favor of Niagara.
Better shot selection, better pressure on the perimeter, and Siena has not been able to hit the long ball.
Bounce pass inside, and Bisping will go up, and he will draw a foul. That is going to be on Ollie 2.
Remember you said you don't have a problem with that foul, about 45 feet away. And I said no, because they just missed it, and then they got the next one. And I know I said this earlier in this half. If Scott gets hot, Niagara can be very effective, and he's turned it up here.
Bisping makes the first. That's the 4th on 2, so he'll go back to the bench, and Dominic Robb will come in. It's been a disjointed game for Dominic Robb tonight as we look at Ollie 2 getting some nice applause from our own fans.
Yeah, and I really think he deserves it. I mean, he's really gave them, significant quality minutes. You know, and he's their 8th, 9th, 10th man. You don't expect that night in and night out. Good for him.
It's a 10-point game. Just 2 minutes ago, it was a 2-point game.
Well, couple turnovers, couple travels, and good shot decisions by Niagara as opposed to how they started this half.
Towns to Prochet. Here's Scott. To Dukes. Pump fake, there's the shot. Doesn't go, and Scott able to grab the rebound. Far side back to Scott. Had those 6 straight points, if you will. The conventional 3-point play, then the 3-pointer that he hit. Dukes drives, he lost the basketball. They're going to say it was knocked away by Siena. He was begging for a foul there.
You know what? He does that way too often. He's always looking for a bailout, and you know it just slipped. They might have easily called that off. And you don't want to do that as young players. Just play and control your effort.
10 on the shot clock. Scott to the lane, leans out to the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Towns back to Scott. Long 3, high arcing, in and out. Let's go.
The good news is they got it to their best player, but it was a shot clock shot, and those usually don't go in from 23 feet.
Chance for Siena to get it back to single digits, trailing by 10. Smith, a nice bounce pass here to Bisping, and that's a nice conversion. This might be the time where Bisping takes over.
You're exactly right.
Scott and Jimmy Patsos and the Siena bench upset at this one, and I think they've got a case here. It's a blocking foul on Smith.
Yeah, Scott's definitely got to clean that up. You know, especially he extends his arm here, clears the way, but they're both moving. But right there, not totally extending it, kind of a almost, but not happy on the Loyola had Jimmy back at Baltimore, half the team from Baltimore, on the Siena bench. That's Scott's game, though. We've been talking about it. He's really a great trainer, but he's got to still make a better decision in that situation.
Makes the first of 2, now to 18 points. Duke's at 22. Scott has 18 currently, and the lead is 9. Chance to get it back to 10 for the Purple Eagles.
So between the two of them, they got 66% of their points. Back in the day, you might play a little triangle and 2 or something like that. Mix it up a little bit.
Got to be a fancier name for that defense nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Matchup zone.
Speaking of zones, the Purple Eagles are in one right now. Inside to Bisping, and faded away a little bit too much on that one.
I don't have a problem with that shot. They got it inside, got it to your senior leader, just missed it. Good possession for Siena, and lucky for Niagara.
Sense Niagara slowing the pace down here just a little bit with that 10-point cushion, although that 3 defies that logic, and the rebound comes to Wright. Under 8 to go. Wright to the hoop. Doesn't go. Rebound, though, up and in from guess who? Brett Bisping. All of a sudden, the senior's got 13. He had 4 in the first half.
He must have better Gatorade than everyone at halftime, because that's the second game in a row we've seen him turn it up in the second half.
And the baseline to Rob. It got knocked away by Winyemi. And we'll have a timeout on the floor as Niagara leads Siena 61-53 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Well, Dominic Robb, he likes to reject the shots here. And he is the king of the SWAT here, leading the MAC with 33 blocks, just averaging nearly 2.5 a game. That's a lot.
That is really a
That's
lot. Yeah, that surprises me. I remember that name, Joe R. Lucas. He was a very good player from Rochester in the 84, 88 regime there.
Been kind of a disjointed night, as I mentioned earlier, for Dominic Robb. Those really 2 fouls, and actually the play of Ali 2 off the bench. Kept Robb out of the game a little bit. Scott, pull back 3, drains it. Boy, he's feeling it right now. Matt Scott is 22. Will be in Dukes with 22.
Yeah, really, those two are really obviously carrying the load here for Niagara. And Siena has to do a much better job on those two.
Bisping goes to the bucket, gets the layup and the foul.
That was a great pass by Smith in there, timed it, and not only was it a good bounce pass, Kevin, it was a bounce pass. Watch where this bounce pass ends up high. Well, actually, it's a good catch. Very nice catch, but they cleared it out beautifully.
Second foul on Matt Scott. Reached in there. So chance for 3-point play here. Cut the lead. And it doesn't go off the front rim. And that's out of bounds off of Niagara. Wright knocked it away, and Towns just off the fingertips.
I don't know where it changed when you don't put 2 hands on the ball. He just casually, you know, that's just an unforced error there. Grab it with 2 hands, then go.
I think you hit the perfect word, casual. 6:40, still a lot of time in this game. Long goes up and under, basket goes. They say no basket. The foul's on the floor.
Yeah, he got Robb off his feet knowing, you know, he's a very good shot blocker here. And they've really, watch, he gets them just enough. You stay down. You stay down. Of course, they'll say, well, I can't stay down and block 2-point threes.
That's a 4th on Dominic Robb. So he will come out. And Ali 2 will come in. Ali 2 has 4 fouls.
Well, obviously Robb's the starter, so you know, if Ali 2 gets the next one, Robb will come in here. He'll be in here shortly anyway.
Long makes the first.
But you said disjointed Robb. He just hasn't had any rhythm to it. He made that early basket we showed in the highlights, and other than that, has had a very quiet night.
Well, missed there, and Niagara comes away with a rebound. Towns. Push, then pull it back. Back to Towns here. Started being Dukes through. Finds Scott. Started by Long. To Dukes. Inside to 2, and he traveled. Just stutter stepped with it. And it's a turnover on Niagara.
Well, you got to give Siena credit, though. Both Dukes and Scott handled that time, and neither one took the shot there, and they've been taking the majority of them. So better defense by Siena.
Seniors handling the basketball there for the Saints. Breaking the press. Right. Bisping. Back to Wright. He'll stop the 3, and no good. That 3-point shooting just not there for Siena. It hasn't been all season long.
Yeah, they've really struggled the last 7 games, and they're just, as I said, they're the worst 3-point shooting team in the conference.
Moves to Crochet. Scott. Little push off there, gets away with it off the glass, and that ball's off of the hands of Bisping.
You know, Scott does push off just about every time he goes in there, and you know the old saying is advantage, disadvantage, but he's got to learn to slow down here. You see the tail end there.
How about the stamina he has, though?
Yeah.
I don't think he's come out here in the second half.
He's got great endurance. He plays 34 minutes a game, so you're absolutely right. He's not going at a slow speed like you said.
And I bet if we asked him, he'd say, "I'm just creating space.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing. I'm creating space."
I believe that's called the eye of the beholder.
Well, it's effective. He's got 22 tonight. Fine player to watch. Towns drives high off the glass, doesn't go. Oganyemi gets the tap rebound from Bisping.
Good team defense again by Siena. That's going to give them a chance to get back in this game and tighten it up.
Saw this against Canisius. They fight to the end here. Long to Clarence. Oh, rejection. Ali, too. Hello.
You know, again, he said 7-8 minutes there. Nice cut, though, by Wright. Beautiful cut here. Nice pass. There's the cut, but that's called a rim protector. And Niagara's got 2 or 3 of them, and they've done a great job here this evening. Thought they were throwing it to you, Kevin, there. That's quite an out of bounds.
Ready to go get it. 10 on the shot clock here. They'll take a timeout.
Wright was dribbling over to his coach. He's like, what do you think? I think you don't know there's 10 on the shot clock.
All right, we're going to take a timeout on our clock. We'll come back. 4:52 to go. Niagara in the lead.
Not a good sign. All right, Niagara Purple Eagles, by the way, when leading at the 5-minute mark, are 4-1 on the season. And Chris Casey trying to make that 5-1 here. As Siena called a timeout, 9 on the shot clock here. Yeah, well, they were disorganized, and they're going to set up a quick play here. And they knew if they didn't call that timeout, they wouldn't get a good shot, and they didn't get it anyway. So we were over here talking. Kevin, you called that. Why would you call that? My point was they weren't going to get a good shot. 9 seconds is a challenge to get it off, and they proved your point. Taking my job again.
Sorry. It was just confusing how they throw it to the long court there and then bring it all the way back for a timeout. I didn't understand that. Dukes takes a shot. Does it go? Tap, rebound, no good. Look at 2 in there, and it goes. Yes. Wow. What great minutes Ollie 2's given Niagara tonight.
It's got to be one of his best games as a Purple Eagle.
Yemi with a slide step there. Bisping on the drive. Oh, I love the way he plays. He is tough. Brett Bisping.
They definitely need him to step up here. 8 points down with just a little over 4 to go.
He's got 17 on the night to lead the way for the Saints. Pick and roll, back to 2. Oh, it doesn't go, but he'll go to the charity stripe as he was fouled by Kadeem Smithen. So when we come back, Ollie 2 will head to the free throw line, playing great minutes tonight for the Purple Eagles in the lead by 8. Well, coming at you Friday night, 7:30 p.m. It's hockey. St. Lawrence at Canisius from Harbor Center. 7:30 face-off on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. We'll also have Game 2 of that series on Saturday night for you on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Ollie, 2 at the line. Boy, what minutes I mentioned before. He's got 7 points on the night. Came in averaging just 2 and makes that for 8. Played 13 minutes tonight. He came in averaging 8.
I think that ties his career high. It's definitely his season high versus Drexel. So when one guy has a tough night like Rob has, you know, jinxed him there, you make it 9, but he's really giving him those great minutes.
Long finds Oganyemi, and that'll be it though for 2, and hard foul on Javion Oganyemi, and that'll be Ollie 2's night.
Well, the key to hit this whole play, look how quickly they got it down here. This looks worse than it was. I think that was a good foul. Little New York Knicks basketball, Pat Riley style, but put him on the line. He had a great night. He's getting a well-deserved hand from this appreciative crowd. Yeah,
an exciting player. Redshirt junior from Paris, France, by the way. Ollie 2. Played some prep basketball over here before coming to Niagara. And Dominic Robb will now return to the game. He also has 4 fouls. And this could be important because Oganyemi exerted himself late in the game the other night along with Bisping down low. And this is far from over here.
Oh, yeah, definitely far from over. This is, you know, Siena, we talked about that in the opening, 13 points down at Canisius and had a really good look to put into overtime. So when you have senior leadership like this, Kevin, you just don't, you know, and a great coach over there, you know you're in it. And Niagara, we had that stat up there, 1-4 of their 5 when they're up with 5 minutes left. The one they lost was Monday night.
And here comes the offense for defense substitution as Oganyemi goes out and Khalil Richard comes in for the press. 7-point game now. And Niagara breaks that press. Dukes, Towns, and yes, they'll slow it down here. Eat some clock with that 7-point lead.
Towns has done a nice job as a freshman slowing this game down and giving them some leadership at that point guard position.
Dukes will drive, and nice defense there by Brett Bisping. And Richard will push the pace here for the Saints. Back to right.
Got to get it inside here with this group. Got to get it inside.
Well, Richard, a little hesitation there. Looking for some help. And that pass knocked away from Niagara. That's where Oganyemi not in the game hurts on the offensive end.
Yeah, look for Scott to score it here. And this is where, you know, a little bad memory for Niagara. They let this go get out of hand with a 12-point lead late the other night. Let's see if they can finish a little bit better.
Rob on the post. There by Bisping. Back out to Towns. Under 10 on the shot clock. Now 5, and Dukes gonna have to make something happen. Lost the basketball. That long pass to right and able to convert the layup. So now it's a 5-point game with 2.5 to go.
Yeah, man, they've got to get the ball to Scott here. He does force the ball a little bit, but he's got that ability to score off the dribble. He's pretty much the only one out there that can do that.
Scott has it. Crochet. Back over to Towns. Trying to run Dukes through some screens to get the basketball.
Yeah, they're going to get it to Scott here.
Oh, and it's taken away by Bisping. And he'll go in and jam it with authority. Now it's a 3-point game and a Niagara timeout.
Yeah. We knew it was going to go to Scott, but so did Bisping, and that's the senior leadership there. And Dukes is always looking for a reason why something didn't go his way. Get back there. Could have gone backdoor, keep the dribble here. But just what you'd expect from a veteran team here, Kevin, right? Coming back, down 13 at Canisius in a similar situation now. Tighten it up. We got a little dancing going on there.
Oh, there you go. That's a little hustle going on right there. This has become a regular thing at Tabs Gallagher Center. Well, you're the analyst, Richard. Give us all the moves here. There's the finish by Brett Bisping.
I think Fred Astaire's turning over in his grave. That's my analysis of that. Jimmy is very happy about that. Well, they're having fun. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. They're giving that.
Well, they definitely look like they know what they're doing.
You can't go wrong with Neil Diamond.
No, he is definitely a crowd pleaser. Well done, young couple. 2:10 to go now. It's a 3-point game. Niagara being pressured here. Oganyemi back in the game, by the way, for the Saints. Towns, no contact there. Good, letting him play. Scott hands out to Prochet, comes back to Scott. He's guarded by Long. Long has 4 fouls, by the way. Little switch here. This is a mismatch speed-wise, as Oganyemi's on Scott. Scott trying to take him to the hoop. He does, and we have an offensive foul as Levon Long stepped in there to draw it.
I like the fact that they got it to Scott, but I do not like the fact that he dribbled about 15 times. Everyone's watching him. He's got to recognize that, and he's been out of control most of the night, and this time there's no question. Although Scott weighs about $180 and the other guy does not, but.
And Niagara will show some pressure here. And the Saints get it up and break it easily. Back in that zone of the Purple Eagles. 3-point lead. There's the lob and the alley-oop to Bisping. It's a 1-point game. Second time we've seen that tonight. Bisping with 21.
Yeah, well executed. And he's played a lot of minutes. And no foul trouble for him, which is a good sign for Siena.
Towns hands off to Scott. To Dukes. Little Dukes. Trying to move off of Smithen. Spin there. Lost the basketball. And who comes up with it? Brett Bisping.
Yeah, there's not a lot of movement without the ball by Niagara. There's a lot of watching.
Under a minute to go. It's a 1-point game. Siena with the basketball, trailing by that 1. 15 in the shot clock. Smithen trying to get back to right. Now 10 on the shot clock.
Got to hustle.
Here's a pick. Right to the hoop. It got blocked. Rebound. No, it doesn't go. Oganyemi couldn't get it. And here come the Eagles. A 2-on-1. There's the lob. Finish. And the foul. Wow. What a play.
What a great play. Siena almost had an easy putback against that zone shot clock. Dukes. Here, watch the putback here. Just misses. They got to make that. Transition. Good look up by Towns. Great pass here. Great catch and concentration for the beautiful finish for Niagara.
I think that's Smithen's 5th foul, so that's a disqualifying foul. So he'll come out. What a sequence there. It looked as if you mentioned Siena was going to go up by 1,
yes,
and all of a sudden they're down by 3 and a chance to be down by 4. 31 seconds.
That's why you got to keep playing in basketball. These kids, they talk to the ref or looking up at their parents for, whatever they're doing. Just play the game. I mean, it only takes 3 seconds. If you look at the time on the clock, Kevin, from the time that Siena missed the putback to the time that came up, 4 seconds. And good for Rob, who's had a rough night, to do that and finishes it off.
Huge free throw there. It's a 4-point game, 31 seconds to go. Right. Lobs it over here to Richard. Back to right. They need 2 baskets at least. Long goes in off the window. No! Tap rebound. Rob comes up with it, and he'll head to the free throw line. And whoa, a little extra stuff here. And Dukes Wazzy comes in to push Rob out of there. That's leadership.
Yes, it is. You got to clear a rebound right there. He taps it when he doesn't have it, and then he gets it, and then they're going to foul. It's a good thing he didn't throw that ball at him, Rob, or that would have. Everyone, they're going to foul. You know that from playing enough basketball. 4-point lead with 15.8 seconds, and there's the leadership you were referring to. Just get out of there, make the foul shots. That's what I call leadership. Make it a 2-possession. It's already a 2-possession game, so take away the 3 here. Either way, knock these down and then take away the 3.
By the way, they called it on Khalil Richard and not Levon Long, so Long's able to stay in the game. But now he'll come out anyways as Nico Clarence will come back in for Levon Long.
Yeah, and Nico Claret's the one guy for them that can really turn it up from the 3.
That was 15.8 seconds. Missed the first, second one good, so it's a 5-point game. So you need a 3 and a 2. That's why you can go for a layup here early, because you need One of each at least.
And there's the three we were talking about.
That's back rim, no good. Back to him. That one's no good. Bisping going back for the three, and doesn't go, and that ends the game. So Niagara able to end the drought. They have lost 7 straight to Siena. They end that tonight, pick up their second MAC victory for the 3-3 at home with a 71-66 win against the Saints.
What a great finish for them with that Rob finish on the alley-oop. Really, like you said, it could have been a Siena lead there.
All right, we will take a timeout, come back, and put a finishing touch on this one as Niagara wins 71-66 on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to come back, final score. We're going to show that sequence where that putback didn't go, and then they come back down.
Rob. Yep.
Then one comment. Well, Niagara able to defeat Siena tonight, 71-66 to break a 7-game losing streak against the Saints, who leave here again winless on the road so far this season. Kevin Sylvester and Richard Walsh, but we really got to look at that sequence that came down in the final minute of the game. Siena had a chance to take the lead on a putback. Doesn't go. Here's a look at it here, Richard, and really this close to taking the lead.
Yeah, an easy putback, but now you got to get back. This is a great play by Towns. That's the key pass. And then execution, then the concentration. Unbelievable finish there by Rob, who had a rough night, but he certainly made up for it. Here it is again, penetration. You got to finish that. That was easy, but this is the key pass. The ball, one dribble, and 2 dribbles, and you get an easy layup. Not easy, but a well-executed fast break for sure in transition.
And that turned out to be the win for Niagara, an important win for the Purple Eagles. Their second in the MAC, brings them to 3-3 at home. And importantly for Chris Casey, his first win against Siena here at Niagara. And we are glad to bring it to you. For Richard Walsh and our entire hard-working career here at Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, I'm Kevin Sylvester. Niagara wins 71-66. Thanks for watching, and good night.